Good afternoon, class. My name is Gregory Rodriguez. In America and all around the world, there has always been a silent universal killer right under our noses. Although we are naturally born with this killer inside of our body, we are able to live with it and keep it under wraps. Unfortunately, the number one cancer-causing drug is in cigarettes, toxic chemicals that can cause the killer to lose control, destroying and weakening our bodies until our immune systems are basically useless. And still, tobacco companies, the government, and even us the people allow for this hazardous product to be sold to the public legally and without a hassle as soon as we turn 18 years of age. Even though it would be impossible to just make cigarettes illegal to the public, there are states and countries aware of why we should not be smoking and are taking steps on how to raise awareness by making the law stricter on public smoking until eventually smoking cigarettes becomes a thing of the past for all of us. Let's start from the beginning. Tobacco was not always pre-rolled with a filter, it was not even sold for profit, but actually used for religious and medical purposes between Native American tribes. The use of tobacco has such a long history in the Americas that not a lot of people know the beginning can be traced back as far as to Central America. The Mayan Indians of Mexico carved drawings in stone showing tobacco use. These drawings date back to somewhere between 600 to 900 AD. As time passes, tobacco begins moving up, more north to be used by the people that introduced it to Europeans. Tobacco was grown by Native Americans before the Europeans came from England, Spain, France, and Italy to North America. Native Americans smoked tobacco through a pipe for special religious and medical purposes. They did not smoke every day. This information can make anyone wonder if the reason that Native Americans could control themselves and only smoke in special occasions is because the United States tobacco companies were not yet founded to add the extra addiction-causing chemicals and advertisement to go along with the product as a bonus to raise their sales margin and produce longer, effective dependence on the act of smoking cigarettes. Nowadays, even though there is the technology available to determine the negative consequences of smoking cigarettes and how they can be potentially harmful to the human body, the new problem is that people are aware that smoking cigarettes is the number one causing reason for cancer, but still, people do not care enough about themselves and let the tobacco companies, along with some help from advertisement, peer pressure young adults into picking up that first cigarette. Cancer and cigarettes go together like peas in a pot. Everyone around the world should know this by now. Cancer is the main reason for 443,000 deaths in the United States alone per year. A well enough reason of why cigarettes should be less tolerated around the world. A cigarette may look harmless enough. Tobacco leaves covered in classic white papers, but when it burns it releases a dangerous cocktail of about 4,000 chemicals, including more than 70 cancer-causing chemicals, hundreds of other poisons, nicotine, a highly addictive drug, and many additives designed to make cigarettes taste nicer and keep smokers hooked. Cancer-causing chemicals in cigarettes are tar, a mixture of dangerous chemicals, arsenic used in wood preservative, benzene, an industrial solvent refined from crude oil, cadmium used in batteries, formaldehyde used in mortuaries and paint manufactories, polonium-210, a highly radioactive element, chromium used to manufacture dye, paints, and alloys, 1.3 deuterative used to rubber manufactories, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, a group of dangerous chemicals, acrolein, formerly used as chemical weapons, metals such as nickel, lead, cobalt, beryllium, DNA damaging chemicals, nitrosamines, other groups of DNA damaging chemicals, acetaldehyde, which is also formed in your tissues when you drink, and hydrazine, a very toxic chemical used mainly in rocket fuel. While you may be exposed to some of these metals through domestic items or food, inhaling them in tobacco smoke is worse because they are easily absorbed by the lungs. With a list of chemicals like that, anyone could be encouraged to quit smoking tobacco and everything else the tobacco companies put in there. Another scary part about cigarettes is that they don't only have cancer-causing chemicals to worry about, it also has forms of poison in them, including hydrogen cyanide, used as an industrial pesticide, carbon monoxide found in car exhaust and used in chemical manufacturing, nitrogen oxides, the major component of smog, and ammonia, used to make fertilizers and explosives. It is almost impossible to believe that there can be such product full of names of chemicals that a person should not ingest and still be able to be sold freely. It is not only the fact that we are inhaling all of those chemicals in our bodies. It is a fact that smokers not only harm themselves, but they harm everyone around them by exposing them to secondhand smoke that can mainly be harmful on infant children, no matter how profitable the product may be. People of the world should not consume a product that causes them and the people around them death. All my reasons of why people should stop smoking cigarettes are all health related. Money will not matter if the population of the world is basically committing suicide. Best hope for the world is that people will continue to pass laws regulating cigarettes like the ones that do not allow people to smoke in planes, hospitals, or even some bars, restaurants around the country. Just how tobacco slowly progresses into everyone's lives, it can be slowly pushed out of it, with healthy steps and positive solutions. Deaths around the world will begin to fall in numbers per year, every year, so that everyone has less to grieve and worry. People will be healthier, and we will have the satisfaction of saying that our generation broke the cycle of the most addictive drug in the whole wide world, with defeating the number one causing illnesses of our times. My name is Gregory Rodriguez. This has been my persuasive speech. Thank you very much for your time, class, and you guys have a very good holiday. Thank you, Professor Shane Puckett, for all your help. I really appreciate it, and you guys have a very good and safe holidays. Merry Christmas, guys.